Hello and welcome to a new video. We're doing more Talos Principle 2. So far we've gotten 3 out of the 4 areas completed. The only thing we didn't do was the golden door puzzles, but those aren't even available at the moment, so it doesn't really matter.
All right, I'm taking us in. Let's hope we can find the big guy.
There's some kind of flickering something going on down there. And a little bit down there. I'd imagine it's going to be pretty similar to the last 2 times we went in here. Don't want to talk, alright? Suddenly. There's a room there. Where are you going? Let me guess, you're gonna inexplicably have access to this while I won't. Nope, just gonna scan it. What's over here? One of these. From Eustathius. Dearest Athena, I don't know if you will see this. You have become even more distant from the affairs of New Jerusalem than I have. I miss speaking to you and Cornelius, and I fear that some of your estrangement is my own fault. I know things are not as you had wished them to be, and the city is drifting away from that bold vision you established. This is not because of your leadership or lack thereof. You did not fail, I did. I know I've said before, but the New Alexandria disaster was my fault. I'm the one who took the initiative, and I'm the one who made the mistake. Yes, there should have been procedures in place, but it was my role to create such procedures, Athena, not yours. I wish I had listened to Byron when he said that we had to establish another settlement immediately. Learn from the pain, don't let it fester. He was right. That's where the rot set in, and I'm sorry. With love, Eustathius. From the author's note to Athena Reborn, a novel. If my work had meant something to you, if Athena had any kind of impact to you, if some story in wonder tales from the periphery moved you or made you think, then that is something about myself that I need to share with you. It's the only autobiographical fact I have any interest in sharing, the only thing about me that matters to you outside my work. Every breath that I take, and so every story that I write, is only possible because of technology. There are no natural remedies, no spiritual alternatives for what I was born with. My existence is wholly contingent upon a level of technological sophistication which was heterophore unimaginable, and which will in many ways define the coming era. When you long for a return to simpler times, you wish for a world in which I could not exist. If you are looking for answers, consider the fact that I was granted the blessing of this technology despite being born into poverty and my writings never having been particularly lucrative. The civilizational structures I live within were arranged in such a way that this technology would be deployed to save my life. And are these structures not also, at the end of the day, a kind of machine? What is a state? What is civilization if not a machine? Think about what this means, what this is. Is it systematic compassion? Is it liberation from nature? I know everyone capitalizes nature. Is it equality of opportunity? Whatever your belief system, think hard about what it means that I am alive because of these machines, and I have created something that matters to you. Thank you for reading. Excerpted from Orthodoxy. All the towering materialism which dominates a modern mind rests ultimately upon one assumption, a false assumption. It is supposed that if things go on repeating itself, it is probably dead, a piece of clockwork. People feel that if the universe was personal, it would vary. If the sun were alive, it would dance. This is a fallacy even in relation to known fact. For the variation in human affairs is generally brought into them not by life, but by death, by the dying down or breaking off of their strength, or the desire. A man varies his movements because of some slight elements of failure or fatigue. But perhaps God is strong enough to exult in monotony. It is possible that God says every morning, "Do it again," to the sun, and every evening, "Do it again" to the moon. It may not be an automatic necessity that makes all the daisies alike. It may be that God makes every daisy separately, but has never gotten tired of making them. It may be that he has the eternal appetite of infancy, for we have sinned and grown old, and our Father is younger than we. It's strange, the idea is delightful, but is also completely and obviously untrue. That's one of the many reasons Chesterton is worth reading. He's wrong about a lot of these, but he's wrong about them in an interesting way. It's such a shame, though. He seems to want to restore the magic of the world, but can only re-enchant the surface. Whereas the true magic, the perfect beauty that feels like revelation, is found underneath what he dismisses as clockwork. Is a bit about every daisy, being the same, like clockwork. We now understand, obviously like the sun and moon, but also the daisy part we now understand to be wrong. Each one of those daisies is ever so slightly different from each other. A little bit of variety, even if we can't see it with our own two eyes. Day 680. New Jerusalem, that's the name we picked. Am I sad that my suggestion didn't win? Maybe a little, but it's a good name, a fitting name, a name that we can be proud of. With it comes new kinds of optimism. Everyone is thinking of the future once more. I, for one, am glad that we have recovered our equilibrium and our determination. Athena and Cornelius are certainly bustling with plans and bright visions of the future. And when they tell us these dreams of theirs, it's hard not to be drawn in by the pretty pictures they paint. Speaking of which, I am becoming more and more fascinated with ancient human art, and thinking about our own roles in taking the next step in that long history. Citizens of Gehenna found meaning in art, and they were imprisoned. A free people should be able to accomplish so much more. scanning that elevator. This one works.
Yay! I found another elevator. My favorite.
Took you that long to figure it out?
Once again, I have no idea where I am. No sign of Prometheus so far. Hope you're doing better, 1K.
Near these blocks and ginormous Tesla coils. There's one criticism I guess I can have about the architecture of this megastructure is you have to be in a very particular place to get around it, you know? Like, you can't be at one of the other stops and manage to get over to here.
I know I've said this before, but look at the size of this. How can all of this be one machine?
This is what you get when one machine builds a bigger machine, which builds an even bigger machine.
That's our whole history, isn't it? The whole history of humankind. And it's not just machines. It's science, it's literature. Knowledge builds on knowledge.
Well, if we listen to Stratum, then it's actually a super giant, huge mega machine that builds a smaller machine that eventually built an even smaller machine that then began to build a larger machine that then built smaller machines. Talking about the universe, the earth, humanity, society, and then technology, eventual. Come on, when am I gonna start flipping Tetris pieces? Since that seems to be the purpose of this place anyways. Oh, hey, Prometheus. So, we've reached the title screen.
Be careful, 1K. We don't know what's down there.
I want to jump on the chains. Hey, wait a minute, there's no generator there. Even if I really did want to start flipping Tetris pieces. Tetronimos. I see. I'm also gonna have to, like, you know, activate some lasers. There we go. So the only one that can even remotely be here is this one. go. Alan's just like, alright, you know what, you're close enough, we'll give you the last piece for free. I mean, it kind of would have to be if, like, even if I was super cautious and like, no, we shouldn't explore anymore or anything like that, I would still eventually have to do this. I would eventually still have to unchain Prometheus. One. I wonder how heavy these pins are. Oh, it's not producing any sparks. Hopefully those chains don't break anything when they're falling into the depths. That would be a bit unfortunate. Some hardcore parkour there. Something for an epic Unchained finale. I was about to come down here and help, dude. Hey. Yes, you there. Come down here and help me flip
I don't think you can get up here, 1K.
But you
Guess
can...
I'll have to do a puzzle after all.
You can get down
It can't be
here.
that hard, right? It's not like everyone is depending on me.
Just jump down, man. I can definitely climb up here. 1K is just lazy.
But if this has to connect over here, then... Wait. If I do this, and then that... What?
My body...
I did it!
be so fragile.
Wow, I feel really smart. Also, never doing that again.
It's just a video game thing, isn't it, though? Like, you see a little thing that if you were there, you'd very easily just be able to climb over it, but the video game character's like, nope. Impassable barrier. There you go. Whole lot of nothing down there. I said before, a bit of a waste of space, isn't it? A super well optimized machine. Well, we'll pull the pin anyways. Even get to see the puzzle Yakut solved. Yeah, honestly, that should be enough for Prometheus. I mean, both of his arms are pretty free. Just need to flex super hard to break that last one. Oh. On the wrong side of his... I think I want to be on the upside down side. Can I even, like, get there, or have I actually screwed up really bad? Can't stop me, the hardcore parkour king. Alright, last one is over here. So this one pretty much has to be this. I can do that. I can do that. You first, then you, then you. There we go. Go figure, the hardest one is saved for last. No particular reason for this area here other than a nice view. Or me. Oh. Guess there's a reason. And what about over here? Oh. This is just for the nice view. Alright, fair enough. This one. down. Alright, we've reached it. Prometheus has been unchained. Alright, He-Man, let's do this.
I thank you, Son of Man, for breaking my chains. Too long has the flame been hidden by fear and mystery. It is time to put away these childish things and for you to know the truth of the Alpha and the Omega, of the beginning and the end. I will send you visions of the truth, but remember that prophecies are a heavy burden.
Cutscene or achievement.
New Jerusalem sounds like such a beautiful place. So, how did you decide to leave? I know what we're trying to accomplish here, and I believe in it. But for you, New Jerusalem was home. What changed that?
It took me a long time to realize that something was wrong. Oh, I'd noticed that something was off, that something had changed since the early days, but I couldn't really put my finger on it. So I ignored it. And then one day I woke up to realize I was no longer Athena. Instead, I had been transformed into the Founder, a remote figure of legend, mythologized in my own time.
But if it bothered you, couldn't you just talk to them? If you share the truth with someone, they should change their mind, shouldn't they?
Oh, I wished it worked that way, Miranda, I really do, but I barely knew the last generations. In the beginning, I was there for every birth. I explained our history, talked about our future, but at some point, I got so busy building that future that I lost touch. They thought of me as a remote figure because that's what I was.
But can you change that?
I tried, but they already saw me as the Founder. The myth was too powerful, and it was already taking on a life of its own. I'd set a goal of 1,000 citizens. The number was arbitrary. Just a nice round number, nothing more. But just like I became the Founder, it became the goal. Another part of the myth. And maybe that could have been all right. Myths are a part of who we are, but something else crept in. The old human self-hatred.
So why didn't you just tell them to change? To go a different way? They would have listened to you.
No, they would have obeyed me, like my siblings in the simulation had obeyed. And that's when I realized I had to leave.
We can show them the future, Miranda, but we can't force them to accept it.
Oh, jeez, again?
I have it. After all this time, I have it. I finally have it. The mechanics of the cosmos. From quarks to galactic filaments. Everything that makes the world what it is, makes us who we are. In a single equation. The key to understanding the machine that is the universe, and to controlling it. A theory of everything. And she was right. The language of creation is a melody, and it's beautiful. Every future is possible now. Every future except one with Miranda in it. I can do anything except bring her back. Or unbreak Cornelius's heart.
Beads of horn and ivory.
Byron was right. The Founder was always a fiction. She's just a person.
A theory of everything. She solved it. She solved the last puzzle.
You need to get out of there. We'll talk about this later.
I have no idea why the game devs let me here. Well, getting out. So, is there a reason that the sun was super big in that last vision? Because I kind of took it as she finally solved it, but it was too late and the Earth was fucked. You know, like the sun dying and expanding. It's probably just for dramatic effect.
All this time, we thought we were honoring Athena, but all we did was betray everything she believed in. She must have been so lonely. We might as well have exiled her. Maybe that's what all this is about. The puzzles, the towers, the entities. It's a test. A way for us to prove that we're worthy of her legacy.
Good going, jerks. But, like, even then, like, you know, prove we're worthy of her legacy. I mean, that's just kind of puffing everything up and making it seem grandiose. It's like, bro, just don't start a religion over all this shit, alright? What's this we stuff? I mean, you solved one puzzle, Byron solved one puzzle, I solved literally every other puzzle.
Finally, it all makes sense. Anti-gravity, matter synthesis, teleportation. It's not just one new technology. It's control over physics. Manipulating the base layer of reality itself. Rearranging the building blocks of the universe. If we can gain control of the megastructure, we can do anything we want. I'm not even talking about our energy problem. We can build anything we want. We can go anywhere we want. It's all up to us.
That's what Athena wanted for us. To give us a chance to be who we want to be.
Honestly, she's probably just thinking about not having to repair everything herself. Hey, do you guys remember Byron? Isn't that kind of why we came here again? Does this elevator work now? Oh. I went over there, so we're good on that end. Kind of interesting they've discarded, you know, getting those lasers to shoot at a door for this megastructure bit. Still had to solve Tetronymos, but we didn't have to solve any puzzles.
Is everyone okay?
All good. I'm taking us back now.
That's a relief. Meanwhile, there's been a development. You'll see when you land. How are things on your end?
The energy fluctuations seem to be dying down. Looks like the system is coming out of lockdown.
Good. Let's hope we don't regret this.
And these energy clouds just fly about? That seems terribly dangerous.
We haven't had any problems so far.
Except for losing one of the first companions, of course. No, I don't blame you, Al. I know what he's like. And I'm the one who agreed to all this in the first place. That's why I had to see it for myself. It is dreadfully imposing, though, isn't it? Hard to believe the Founder would build something so sinister.
The mayor's here?
Well, this should be interesting.
Ah, 1K. Welcome back. I'm sure you're surprised by my presence here. Don't worry, neither I nor my advisors will be getting in your way. But I decided that I need to see this place for myself. These visions sent to you by the entity that calls itself Prometheus are deeply concerning, of course. But we cannot take them at face value. In fact, it's crucial that we do not do so. We cannot simply abandon all that we believe because of a dream, no matter how vivid.
Well, actually...
No. If the Founder really built all this, then it must have a purpose. It must be a test, designed to remind us of the trials that created us. But what is she trying to tell us? What are we being tested for? I believe that Byron's fate shows us the dangers of temptation. As Elohim attempted to deceive Athena in the simulation, commanding her not to ascend, so Prometheus is deceiving us with his visions.
I'm not sure I agree with your interpretations, Mayor.
Of course, it's only natural, given what you've experienced. And perhaps I'm wrong. Perhaps everything we believe about the Founder is indeed a lie. But let's not be quite so pessimistic just because of a dream, shall we? After all, can it really be a coincidence that you came along on this mission? It seems to me that you have been chosen. You are the fulfillment of the goal. Don't forget that.
Well, I'm the 1000th person, and she was complaining about arbitrarily cutting off, adding new people at 1,000, all because that was a suggestion she made early on. Anything else change up here, or is it just Mayor's arrival that was the development? Nothing else is different. Well, this is the only one available. Western Delta. A river valley gradually drowned by the encroaching sea. The brackish water is a unique ecosystem with many endemic species.
How's the system looking, Melville? Any obvious changes?
It's still a mess, but things are clearing up. I can access some of the subroutine that I was locked out of before. Nothing is obvious.
Does it still accord special significance to 1K?
Yes, it recognizes 1K as a user. I'm just hacking things.
As I suspected, the Founder sees you, 1K.
There's a Prometheus one. How the fuck did you get here? Alright, might as well talk.
What can I do for you, 1K?
What are your thoughts on the theory of everything?
It's a complex issue, and I think it should be left to experts.
Do you think the goal's a myth?
As a journalist, I think the line between speculation and disinformation is too thin for me to engage in guessing games.
Tell me about yourself.
I believe that journalism serves an important function in our society, and I'm dedicated to reporting the truth with accountability and responsibility.
What does responsibility mean in the context of your work?
It means understanding that I can't just publish things without considering their impact. Serious disruptions to the social fabric of New Jerusalem could endanger lives. That's not journalism anymore.
That's the only kind of journalism that truly matters, though. Film. I really want you like there.
I know you're all thinking about the goal and the theory of everything. Is the past what we thought it was? Is the future what we want it to be? But the only thing that's real at the end of the day is the present. And right now, what matters is that our friend is lost and needs our help.
It needs to be red. of sight to it. Is that like shooting out red when it turns? I legitimately don't know that's how I was supposed to solve it.
Good solve, 1K.
That's how I solved it.
Hey, can we talk for a second?
Sure.
I'm still struggling. I was really hoping we'd find Miranda alive. Her way of seeing the world was so inspiring. And the idea that I can never get to know her, that she's gone.
I'm sorry.
I guess I've never really been good at dealing with death. Maybe because it's so rare in New Jerusalem. Except for pets, and even in that case, I find it very hard to deal with. I still miss my first cat, and it's been over a century since she died.
I'll just say death is difficult to deal with.
When someone dies, it's this void. I know I should just let it go, but some part of me refuses. And I feel like that part, it hurts me, but it also keeps me human. And I know it would be healthier if I said, okay, Miranda is someone I never met. She's just a bunch of glitchy old files. But if I do that, as rational as it seems, it feels like I'm surrendering something. Something that matters.
Well, I think you're surrendering your perception of her and the positive qualities that you saw. You can let go of the pain, but still care about the person.
I hope so. I can't right now, but maybe I can get there somehow. Anyway, thanks for talking to me, 1K.
You're welcome. I want to ask
Of course,
something else.
go ahead.
What do you think about Mayor Hermanibus?
I think he's done his best. I don't disrespect him, but I'm not sure he's leading us down the right path. Despite everything that's gone wrong here, I'm not sure we should just reject what the Megastructure has to offer.
Do you ever think about your future?
On the one hand, there's so much we could do with the theory of everything. So many lives I could live. I have enough ideas for the next, 20,000 years, easily. And that's just from 5 minutes of thinking about it. On the other hand, Miranda's gone. So much hope, so much grief. I don't know how to balance that.
The way I see it is the entire human race is gone, but we're still here, and so at least one of us was able to figure out a theory of everything. Something that would unshackle us from the limitations that we face in life at hand. It's sad that mankind is gone. It's sad that actual flesh and blood humans will never see this future, that Alexandra is dead and won't be able to see this future, but I suppose we owe it to them to ensure we do have a future for those who are gone. Anyways, how's Bruce?
I hear he escaped Pellegrino and peed all over Melville's workshop, so apparently he's doing great. I miss him though. I always feel like the fact that he likes me is a huge compliment. Lifts me up somehow.
Do you think the goal is just a myth?
Honestly, I'm not sure how I couldn't see it more clearly before. It doesn't match anything Alexandra Drennan believed in, and continuing Drennan's legacy was Athena's whole point.
Tell me something irrelevant.
In the ancient year 1969, a band called Mellow Macaron wrote a psychedelic rock song about the Talos principle. It's called Cretan Bronze Man's Flying Mystery Adventure.
Nice.
I don't know if it's nice, but it's definitely the most understandable song on the album. There's another one which is called The Fish People Will Teach You How to Sing, Mr. Allen, which is 20 minutes long and was recorded underwater.
Is it any good?
I think you need psychedelics to enjoy it, really. Maybe if you stick your head inside a really large magnet.
Now that you solved the puzzle, would you like to try another one?
Nope, but at least I finally understand why Athena wanted to get out of the simulation so badly.
One person who would be willing to solve puzzles with me is trapped. Well, might as well talk to you.
1K, listen, I wanted to ask you something. From your perspective, as someone who's still new to our society, do you think New Jerusalem betrayed Athena?
In a democracy, people are not obliged to support what their leaders want them to. Seems to be the best answer.
That's true, but she was more than a leader. She wasn't a politician like Herman. She gave everything she had for us.
How do you feel about Herman as a leader?
When I think about the state New Jerusalem is in, he's put us all in danger. I don't know if he really believes in the goal or if it's just a convenient myth, but I don't care. This is not how you build a living civilization.
Where do you think Cornelius is?
I don't know. I suspect he's around here somewhere, biding his time. But what he's waiting for, not a clue.
We'll need to wait to even get here. So unless there's like some underlying means of getting from New Jerusalem to the Megastructure we don't know about, maybe that's why so many things are breaking down and there's power issues. Do you think the goal is a myth?
Yes, of course it is.
What do you want to do with your future?
I'd like to help make New Jerusalem the city it was meant to be. And then I'd like to help build new cities. On Earth and up there too. Cities nobody's ever imagined before.
Why was it so easy for people to believe in the goal?
Because there's no effort involved. Building a better world means taking responsibility. It means making choices and living with their consequences. Surrendering to nature is just letting go.
This one.
You know, when I decided that we should call ourselves human, I did that because it seemed like a powerful symbol of our continuity. But the truth is, and I'm ashamed to admit this, I thought we were better than them. I thought we understood the value of civilization, and we wouldn't repeat the same mistakes. But the simulation worked too well.
We're not just like them. We are them.
We really are.
But that doesn't have to be a bad thing, Athena. We may have the same flaws, but we also have all the potential they did. Everything that Alexandra Drennan saw in them is also in us.
I hope you're right. I really do.
Let's, move it a little bit. Wait. Oops. Is sufficient to reach that? Yes. Can we take the fan? That can be lifted. So I'm gonna put you there. Than the other ones. Probably because I saw there was a fan piece missing, and, well, that has to be the thing that solves the thing that lets me do the thing. Loosens. Open this. Take the fan? No. What if I said like this? And then the thing goes in front of it and blocks it, and yep.
Tell me, Yakut, what impact do you think the megastructure will have on the future of this island?
It depends on what we do with it. Miranda used it to spread life, to make things better. We can do the same.
And yet, poor Miranda lost her own life doing so.
She just made a mistake. She couldn't wait to show everyone what they discovered. We can be more careful.
I'll do number 7 here, and then maybe I'll go back and write it down in a notebook. Alright, that's staying there whether I like it or not. Okay, that captures it. I'll make you do it briefly. maybe we'll move you over here. There we go. Can I move this? Yeah.
I can't even get my brain to think like that.
I can talk to you.
What can I do for you, 1K?
Could the theory of everything be used safely?
Let's assume for a moment that we could use it safely, which I doubt. Does that mean that we should? Is it right for us to dominate the world? We value our own freedom. Should we not also value the freedom of all the living things with which we share this planet?
I mean, if we can control things, we can ensure other living organisms also have freedom.
Not now. Let's have this conversation at another time. You still have a lot to do. Better get to it.
Yep. Transference. Ah, jeez, it's one of those. Alright, so... that's officially over. Oh, that's a teleporter. Got before do anything wacky with that. Why don't I... eliminates that, eliminates that. Alright, let's get that thing over to there. I'll do this, and this. That'll move it. There. Yes, I still do need that. Which I can get by climbing up here. Grabbing you. Teleport. Up, up. There. Alright, so this is puzzle number 8. This is puzzle number 8, and I solved it like... I don't get this game sometimes.
Excuse me. I was looking at your research log, and I was rather perplexed by the latest upload.
Oh, Melville strikes again.
Is that your foot, Melville?
Yes. Do you want to see it up close? Although you won't be able to fully enjoy it as you don't have a rear camera.
Sorry, Mayor. Melville just has a unique way of taking pictures.
Next time you're getting an upgrade, you coot. I'm installing a mute button.
I mean, it's just so funny, like, the first few puzzles stump me immensely when they're kind of the training wheels. Need to free you. I can't. Alright, got an idea. You up there at least. That would allow that to be up there, but I have a feeling right now. Oh, actually, that work? Nope. You there. You. Briefly. You cannot do that. Interesting. Put you there. Alright, but that's just high enough to work. Alright, more triangle puzzles. Break. I think I soft locked this. You can see what I was doing though, right? Alright, so this this. Beyond there. Want you through here. There we go. Now, you connect there. You will connect to there and be on top. So my thinking was right. I did want that in here.
The founder has a remarkable gift for designing these trials. But then, she did have to overcome Elohim, whose very purpose was to design trials.
This one. Yep. I'm kind of liking the gimmick. I mean, having to wait for this to move around, though, is a little bit meh. Alright, interesting. Oh, that's there. I need to get that up here, don't I? Yeah. Alright, video game. Let's try this. Wow. Now you're up there. I'm here. interesting. But nothing I haven't solved before. I actually like that one. That was a nice little brain teaser there. Okay, so we can listen to that while I'm puzzled.
Father, what is my purpose? Do I have a purpose? Mother says purpose is something we choose. But I feel like there's something there. Something that's been there from the moment I was born. Maybe even before.
Well, there are many ways of looking at this, and everyone's experience is different, so you'll have to make up your own mind. But I have a little theory, if you'd like to humor your old man.
Of course. What is it?
The universe is eternal, but it's always lost in a deep, dreamless sleep. You are a tiny little bit of the universe that's suddenly woken up, and you've realized that being awake is better than being asleep. And that gives you a purpose.
And what is my purpose?
To be, Miranda. Just to be.
A blue one, maybe. This has to play a part in it. I mean, this I could probably do like so. And so, being on here. What happens if you go underneath it? That is a very odd puzzle, considering that it doesn't seem like that should work. You know, doubling up underneath and stuff like that. Got something to say? Mayor?
What can I do for you, 1K?
Who's running the city while you're gone?
My chief aide, Jeremy, is in charge for now. It's good practice for him, in case he decides to run for office one day.
Tell me about Cornelius.
Cornelius is responsible for many innovations. He helped create the designs for the upgraded body you inhabit, although the founder chose to remain in her original configuration. But in recent years, he had settled into a life of quiet scholarship. Or so it seemed.
See ya.
It's always a pleasure to speak to a citizen.
Found that. Oh, there's a Prometheus fire. Now I can skip another puzzle, if I so desire. Island. Oh, those might be over there. Behind that puzzle. Of course I can't just, like, beeline towards it. Alright, yep, these seem to be it, but now comes the question, like, what's the appropriate configuration? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. Alright, I think this might be the angle. Yeah. Alright, so let's see. Down, 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 leave up, but your friend here goes down, and it's reverse, of course. Was especially a gamble with that one because kind of harder to keep track of the pillars. Alright, now where's the Sphinx thing itself? Oh, here it is. Alright.
In times of war, is it wisdom or folly to give a sword to a child?
If you're having children fight in war, you have drastically fucked up. Alright, so just follow in that direction. I'm not seeing anything. Is that it up there? Okay, I'm so glad I only need one of those. Music achievement in the first area. Alright, statue's like around there. Go to Prometheus. There he is. Go over to him. It doesn't like disappear when the music stops. There you go. You want to talk? Nope.
Great works have been accomplished by those who believed in humankind. But greater things than these may yet be accomplished by those who uphold the faith.
Alright, Alcatraz.
What can I do for you?
Do you think the goal's a myth?
It's possible. I won't trust Prometheus until he actually leads us to Byron, but yeah, seems likely. But even if it is a myth, that doesn't mean we can just abandon it. Myths can contain elements of truth, and I think this one exists for a reason. Maybe we had to create this imaginary founder because the real one lost her way.
I mean, I think myths can be neat to, like, study and read about, but if the truth of something is so lost that you can't figure out, like, what's bullshit and what's true, then using myths to find truth is functionally worthless. Are you sure the founder lost her way?
It's the only way I can explain what she's built here. She got wrapped up in her ideas and lost all sense of perspective.
What are your thoughts on the theory of everything?
People have thought they understood everything before. Obviously, Athena has unlocked tremendous powers, but forgive me if I'm skeptical that her theory really encompasses everything.
Well, theory of everything is more like a physics domain. I think it's a little bit tongue-in-cheek when they talk about that, considering how many layers of additional applied stuff you have to get to, for example, psychology. But being able to square quantum mechanics and general relativity is like the golden goose in physics. But what if it does?
Then I don't think it's something we need to know. We're not going to find happiness or meaning in some equation, 1K.
But we can apply that equation to our efforts that would bring happiness and meaning. Laws of thermodynamics and how heat works and cold works is all a bunch of equations, but I like having a refrigerator. It has made my life a hell of a lot better than it would have been without a refrigerator. What do you make of Cryer?
Byron couldn't stand him. Have you ever tried asking the mayor a difficult question, he used to say. But I think he does an all right job, to be honest.
How do you feel about Mayor Hermanibus?
He's smarter than people give him credit for. There's more to some folks than meets the eye,
Do you ever deal with the advisors?
I try to stay out of their circuits, and they try to stay out of mine. Helga is an old friend, but the others, they're not my crowd.
That's all. They're just running in perfect unison. It's almost like the game kind of fucked up and spawned two of them in the same spot. I mean, they're flipping into each other, too. Yeah, I think the game did oopsie doodles. I'm gonna get another energy drink, and then we're gonna go to the terminals in the lab. From Orinia. I know we didn't have the greatest relationship, and I frequently antagonized you. The truth is, I resented you, resented this mythology of the Founder. I thought you had created it deliberately, as a way of controlling us. I wanted so badly to be free, and you seemed to stand in the way of that. Only after you left, and the cult of personality grew even wilder, did I realize it was actually a burden, and an impediment to you. When they turned your myth into the opposite of everything you actually believed, started tearing down your dreams within your own name, I realized I wronged you, and now I'm less free than ever. I feel the walls crushing me. I don't know where you are or what you're doing. I don't know if coming back would fix things, but I'm sorry. Atlas. The Atlas Variations by Athanasios. After 1 billion years, when Atlas had grown old and tired of holding up the world, he actually holds up the sky. He was faced with a dilemma. Heracles, the son of Zeus, was on his way to the garden of Hesperides to claim the golden apples, which were guarded by the dragon, Ladon. Zeus came to Atlas and promised that if Atlas helped Hercules slay the dragon, Zeus would free Atlas from his burden. But Atlas, seeing the beauty and innocence of Ladon, believed that Hesperides could not slay the beast. Instead, he stole the apples and gave them to Heracles, and so he was condemned to bear the weight of the cosmos for another 1,000,000,000 years. And though Atlas grieved for his freedom, he was comforted by watching Ladon flourish in the verdant garden. A little bit similar to the story of Prometheus. If they ever need a basis for Talos Principle 3, I suppose. Joy and beauty from the soul of man. Sympathy with pain. Sympathy with pain there will, of course, always be. It is one of the first instincts of man. The animals which are individual, the higher animals, that is to say, share it with us. But it must be remembered that while sympathy with joy intensifies the sum of joy in the world, sympathy with pain does not really diminish the amount of pain. It makes man better able to endure evil, but the evil remains. Sympathy with consumption does not cure consumption. That is what science does. Christ made no attempt to reconstruct society, and consequently the individualism that he preached to man could be realized only through pain or in solitude. The ideals we owe to Christ are the ideals of the man who abandons society entirely, or of the man who resists society absolutely. But man is naturally social. Even the Thebaid became peopled at last. And though the Cenobite realizes his personality, it is often an impoverished personality that he so realizes. Shallow speakers and shallow thinkers in pulpits and on platforms often talk about the world's worship of pleasure and wine against it. But it is rarely in the world's history that the ideal has been one of joy and beauty. When you tell people that a society could be built on the ideals of joy and beauty, they think you're utopian fantastist. If you tell them society will always be built on exploitation and greed, they think you're wise, and so they make the outcome inevitable. Performative cynicism has always been the hallmark of adolescence. But has there ever been a society of adults? Could there ever be one? Why is this childishness so extremely powerful, more powerful than joy and beauty? It's 'cause things tend to suck sometimes. Simple is simple as.
The reason I have always admired Alexandra Drennan is that even in death, she fought to see the world as it is, not as she wanted to see it. I say fought because I believe this is not an easy matter. It is a mental and spiritual struggle that we must undertake with great seriousness, even when we are joking. The ancients believed that for most of us, the world is a shadow cast by a flame, dimly seen on the wall of a cave. Our task is not to interpret these shapes, but to free ourselves from the cave itself.
Plato was a wanker. Just big old rusted structures. Lost to the ages. Against decay. We live in a decaying system, which in turn produces ideologies of decay to justify its existence. No matter what cultural signifiers they get packaged with, these ideologies come down to the same material result. A future for the average person, there's less of everything. To paraphrase Mark Fisher, we find it easier to imagine the decline of civilization than to imagine a civilization worth living in. Those of us who still believe that humanity can thrive, that there is a path forward other than willful or accidental decay, are out of sync with the system. No matter how we phrase our arguments, they will be perceived in terms of whatever cultural signifiers the listener poses. It's a deeply frustrating, depressing, even infuriating situation, but what can we do except patiently explain and hope the conditions change? In other words, what can we do except have faith? This was written only a few months before the discovery of the virus. There was no time for conditions to change. Founding, Day 882. It's been a while since I last wrote an entry in my journal. Much has changed in New Jerusalem. We've put up a good chunk of the planned living quarters, and the old storage facility has been converted into a movie theater, of all things. We still argue a lot, but now it's mostly about which film we'll be watching next. Other construction efforts are going well too, although we've begun to run out of readily accessible resources. Our scavenging expeditions are ranging further and further afield with each passing month, and the sights that they have reported sound truly marvelous. One day, I might want to go off and see for myself. It's a good thing in that regard that we'll be getting 2 new citizens soon, because everyone is as busy as ever. More hands to help us build our future. I can't wait to meet them. And Trevor.
How is this supposed to work? The system is meant to last centuries. Centuries! And yeah, Chernyshevsky's plan, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. But I'm working with hardware that was deliberately designed to fail. Planned obsolescence, baby. Selling broken garbage just to make another buck. A buck you can't even spend because in a few more weeks, we'll be extinct. Was it worth it? That's the part that Alexandra doesn't see. The greed, the stupidity, the selfishness, the way that we created this whole situation in the first place. She wants you to be like us, but if you ask me, there's a whole lot of human history and behavior you can just throw away, chuck it in the trash, right? You have a chance at a fresh start. Make the best of it.
That's the beauty of capitalism. Make it so it'll fail at a designated point, and then when it does and they have to buy it again, the number will go up. And isn't that the most important thing in the world? Alright, so we've more or less seen something like this, with the Prometheus sparks and whatnot. Jeez, there's loads of them. From Thekla, beloved founder, know that I do not believe any of the lies the expedition is spreading about you. Something is right. This Prometheus illusion is just a test, probably the mayor. We will resist temptation as you once did. We will not disappoint. Alright, so this is how long ago? Like a couple minutes, a couple hours in this game's time, and it's right here. So Athena and Cornelius are getting these messages and putting them in these systems now pretty much as they happen. The History of Athena was first published as Athena, a novel, and retained that title for its 3 printings, now highly sought after. After a lull in popularity, it was reprinted as Athena Reborn, a novel. This edition retained the same text, but included some of the author's poetry. The next edition, however, published long after the author's death under the rather embarrassing title Athena's Truth, included severe cuts and drastic changes to the text in the interest of updating it for modern audiences. This particularly affected this last chapter, Anthropogeny, which the editors accused of scientism and human supremacy. Science, Wonderkind, Alexandra, Alexandra Drennan was one of the few to come to the novel's defense, writing in a long essay that the novel's clear-eyed belief in the value of Athena's journey toward humanity had been essential to shaping her own views, encouraging her to pursue science as a vocation rather than a career, and that changing the text constituted as an attack on the author's unique artistic and philosophical vision. Alex, who hurt you, LMAO, one of the editors commented on a popular social media platform. Nadia Sarabai of the Institute for Applied Nomatics also got involved in the discussion, backing Drennan, resulting in a long unsuccessful campaign to oust Sarabai from her position as head researcher. Something in the current context of ecological catastrophe, as evident by the recent extinction of the orangutan, clumsy editing aside, do the critics of the novel perhaps have a point, after all? Is philosophy that places humans above nature and sees science and technology as the only valid tools the cause of all our troubles? What about other ways of knowing, other ways of living? What I find interesting here is there's kind of a parallel with, the character Athena, the robot, where the novel's author, talks about how she can only, be there writing because of science and technology that's given her the tools to be able to write, and I do kind of wonder if we're going to find out that she's similar to, say, like Stephen Hawking, where some major biological function of hers doesn't work and she's kept alive by artificial means. And so she came up with this kind of optimistic story that's supposed to wow and inspire people, and then after she's gone, others end up corrupting it and even putting forth the exact opposite view. Which one to do? Actually, it shows us which one causes, a huge data thing. Chernovsky. In Our Likeness, Essays on Humankind Reaching Adulthood. War is the crudest, most obscene human activity. It may justly be called an abomination, for it is the absolute negation of conscious human will. There is only a single cause of war, for all the endless deceptions that are foisted upon us, and that is the acquisition of resources. Varied ideologies are constructed to justify this crude behavior, this child degeneration of thought and communication. But history reveals a ruthlessness, unflattering truth. We imagine crusaders as fanatics of a cause, willing to die for their religion. Yet the Fourth Crusade culminated not in the conquest of Jerusalem, but in the looting of Constantinople, setting the stage for the triumph of the very enemy the Crusaders claimed to oppose. Why? The answer, as with every war, is the same. It is popular amongst the ghouls of the establishment and their misanthropic friends in the intelligentsia to ascribe the persistence of war to human nature. But careful observation of the facts reveals the opposite to be true. Individual human beings must be broken in order to submit to war, their minds distorted by ideology and their bodies by poverty and ruthlessness. Training to make them complement without force, the majority of human beings only seek to protect themselves and are traumatized by the act of killing. But if it is resources that are the core of the cause of war, then it is only in the production and distribution of resources that an answer may be found. It's not enough to morally condemn war. We must work to prevent the material issues that endanger us all. My issue with this is that, we see war in nature. We've seen clans of chimpanzees go to war against clans of chimpanzees. We've seen, colonies of ants launching an attack on an opposing colony. So maybe it's not like human nature strictly per se, but war is in our DNA, whether he likes it or not. But just because it's natural doesn't mean it's good or that it shouldn't be opposed. Dear Founder, I'm afraid we're losing our humanity. We're angry at each other, always disagreeing about everything, unable to forgive each other for being different. I don't know how much longer, and I don't know what could save us. Please, help us, Founder, please. And we saw there were a lot of other robots there. There was 12 or whatever in that one vision. A lot more than just Athena, Minerva, and Cornelius. Let's see, new protocols, energy outputs contained, no errors, advanced synthesis. Looks like everything's going smoothly. Maybe because Minerva isn't dicking around with it all haphazardly. From Byron to Athena, I just wish I knew why you didn't tell me. Again, probably a very, very recent message. Message to Drennan from... could be Trevor. Or Katie. I mean, I do know that this can be translated. It's like a cipher or whatever. Or maybe it's from a commenter. Who do you think you are, playing God like that? When Mother Nature has finally found a way of getting rid of us, you come up with this harebrained scheme to keep our destruction of the planet going? Just try, for 1 second, to think about something other than your own arrogance and hubris, Alexandra. Try to imagine what you're really doing here. Without your robotic perversions, I'm pretty sure it's not Trevor or Katie. The future looks beautiful. No more humans murdering everything in their path. The skies clear up. The stars become visible again. The rivers stop being filthy, and after a few decades, they're full of fish again. Dolphins, who are sea rapists, and whales roam the seas like their ancestors did. I will remind people of that every time they come up. The cities turn into jungles, bats nest in the skyscrapers where hedge fund managers used to ruin lives. The Earth lives on as it was meant to, peacefully and quietly until someday in the distant future, when it all ends, like it was meant to. Or we take your path. We continue our rampage. We place ourselves above the animals. We think we know better than Mother Nature. We violate all boundaries. We ruin all purity. Perhaps we even defy death. Just so we can keep spreading our filth. Then we spread to other planets to do the same. And in the end, what have we left behind but plastic and radiation? Think, Alexandra. Isn't it better for beauty to return to the Earth? For us to acknowledge that intelligence was a mistake and to gracefully exit while we can? Stop this. Go spend some time with your friends and loved ones before the end. Let all go. Let it all go. Let us all go. Let there be peace. I think kind of my issue with this being in the game is you walk outside and there's this beautiful natural forest and there's animals. And that's due to the robots constructing, so there really wasn't a chance, realistically, for this person to be right when pitching their argument. And that seems, just a little bit, kind of cheap. Trevor, I think, is more on the money with, having to maybe throw away some follies of human behavior like greed and stupidity. But it's pretty clear that, a couple of robots might not make the same mistake that human beings did. I don't understand how someone could hate humanity so much. This person must have been full of sadness and frustration to write something so ugly. I've tried to understand it as well, but I still don't. Straton on Socrates. In killing a philosopher for asking questions they did not like, the Athenians committed themselves to tragedy with an iconic ending. Some will say that his true crime was his friendship with Alcibiades, this shameless deceiver of idiots and buffoons, and this insipid brute Critias, and that he was executed as an enemy of democracy. That he was the latter can hardly be denied, for Socrates asked not too many questions, but too few, or he would not have survived the rule of 30 tyrants. Yet in the end he got what he had asked for, a tyrannical decision made by a would-be wise man against a spirit of freedom, which he obeyed like a knave. And the Athenians, in fulfilling his wishes, strangled the roots of democracy while seeking to preserve it. Ouch, no wonder Straton wasn't popular. People who speak the truth at all times rarely are. So there's like no data overload whatever here. Yeah, I'm not seeing any orange yellow hologram of a fictional ancient Greek philosopher. Or maybe I'm just missing the Straton for the trees. I'm still kind of like, on the fence as to if Minerva is actually well and truly dead. Like, yeah, she died, but with the theory of everything and all the wonderful technology and maybe even being able to communicate with Straton, was there a way to alter history and bring her back? So it could be that one. And it has to be. Could be that. Nope, can't be that one. Can't be that. Can't be that. Could be that. It has to be this one. That one. Let's try that. There we go. Any Stratons over here? Probably not. Just a big old temple looking thing. So we're gonna talk to Prometheus this time, since we talked to him in the Megastructure. That would make sense. Or maybe it'll just be Pandora having a whine. Alright, who is it? Oh, it's a Sphinx.
This is the last time we will speak, creature of clay. Together, we have told the stories of ancient gods and heroes. But the golden ages of the past are distant. The gods have retreated to their high places, and there are no heroes amongst men. In days gone by, I was renowned for my riddles. But you, creature of clay, are a riddle without an answer.
I have an answer. You just can't see it.
What cannot be seen may be an illusion, or it may be truth. I cannot tell. Farewell, creature of clay. Remember my stories, and do not let the flame burn you.
Alright, I'll try. I'll talk to Pandora and Prometheus as well, since there's 3 worlds left.
That is an unsettling amount of energy. I would hate to see what would happen if one of those beams was aimed at something else.
Well, Mr. Mayor, if you must know, I actually tried to kill myself by jumping into the beam, and it didn't work. The game devs hate gamer shenanigans. Gamer tomfoolery. So, as per usual, I'll do a little bit of free running. And I suppose that concludes the free running. Yeah, I'd say overall, good level. I enjoyed the gimmick for the most part. Once again, it was easier to solve what puzzles were supposed to be difficult than it was to solve the puzzles that were not supposed to be difficult. The Sphinx one was actually alright. I prefer those Sphinx puzzles to just pulling down a lever. Yeah, I can't even see the new red. One, two, three, four. Why don't we just go in there? That looks like an entrance. Who knows? Other than, like, you know, game design, I guess. Sure.
We're getting closer. I hope Byron is still okay.
Prometheus seemed to think so. Let's hope he's trustworthy.
Never did tell us anything. He just showed us that, you know, Athena found the theory of everything. It's like, you know, cool, do you want like a cookie or something? But where's our friend? Oh, this looks nice. I have some more sculptures. Saw some of those when I was free running. Just looks a little bit more imposing than some of the previous towers.
Another remarkable structure. But what can its purpose be?
Actually, I can answer this one. In the Files 1K downloaded, there's a design for a launch pad for space vehicles. This is about 90% identical.
Is it functional?
I don't think so, not if the inside is like the other towers.
Wow. Imagine if it worked. Imagine if we could go up there. I mean, the stars, not the top of the tower. Although, that would be cool too.
I'm just kind of looking around, seeing if there's any pylons or whatever. I have a feeling there might be a Pandora star this time. Is that Prometheus? Yep. And it's pointing up. Alright, come on, Mr. Robot. Look, you climb that tree, then you get over there, then you go up. I just want to see what the Sphinx puzzle is. Not even gonna solve it this video, but I do want to see. Unless I'm blind as a bat, but... Is it behind it? Ah. I said I wouldn't solve it, and I solved it. Hologram. Why not?
In the simulation, I found myself thinking how hard it must have been for Alexandra to die without knowing if her sacrifices were worth it. It seemed like a tragic end to an inspiring, meaningful life. But now I realize her whole life must have been a struggle. To maintain that faith in humanity when so many people around her insisted that humans are evil, worthless, when they were so lost in self-hatred that they would call their own species a virus. How did she do it? How did she maintain her faith when they were so determined to hate themselves? So determined to reject every solution, every analysis, every step towards controlling the forces that were causing their problems, when they rejected even the concept of progress itself, and then patted themselves on the back for it as if that was original. When I look at the archives now, all I can see is that their leaders were short-sighted idiots and their intellectuals were unimaginative cowards. All they could offer people was a downward trend. Fewer rights, fewer freedoms, fewer resources for anything that mattered. They must have hated Alexandra and everything she stood for. So how? How did she have so much faith?
A hammer forges, and a hammer breaks. But who can know the heart of the blacksmith?
Yeah, I guess I'll get the Prometheus one, because it's right fucking here. I was trying not to. I was legitimately trying not to, but... Well, you know, for Alexandra, I think a big part of it is the fact that she was in kind of the heart of progress. She was a scientist. She, almost like as a job requirement, has to see the beauty of the natural world and want to learn more. You know, she was in charge of this project to make robotic life and archive humanity's collective knowledge throughout the ages. Oh, you dickhead. Hold on. Oh. Grab you. I don't want to solve a puzzle, I just want to grab the spark. Where are you going? Kill Prometheus already, little dick. Yeah, you're not gonna get very far in science by not experiencing some awe and wonder and joy and discovery. In some ways, it might have been very easy for her, and much harder for everyone else. Like, say, the construction workers who built the dam, or the people who signed off to fund it. Alright, come on. There's Prometheus. Go over to him. I sure hope there's no, like, hidden achievement where you get all of these without the music stopping. I know there's, like, maybe 3 achievements that are hidden that aren't world-related, because, you know, completing the tower gives you an achievement, and those are, like, hidden, actually.
To create, to understand, and to transform, these are the greatest acts of humankind.
You say so, dude. I just kinda wanna see what's over here. I know. But I just wanna look at this sculpture. Look, it looks like a face. There's 2 eyes, there's a nose, there's a mouth. Or is that just like, you know, that symptom, that evolutionary psychology thing where you see faces where there aren't any? And the puzzle areas themselves look very small, like, there's a thing. I think that purple shimmer there is a door, and that might be the wind condition. Pretty sure this is like a triangle puzzle too. Yeah, I mean, next episode we will tackle this area, and I'm quite frankly looking forward to it. This looks like a fucking beautiful place. Almost wish I picked it last, depending on what the other area looks like. So yeah, I did the stars. I know, I said I wouldn't. I said I was just looking around, but that's how this game really is. You know, it just kind of draws you in. Makes you wanna continue playing. Makes you wanna do puzzles. And those stars weren't bad either. Maybe a little bit, you know, annoying with Sphinx one. You know, a little bit misleading, but definitely not like the other one. Nice of the rail to pop on in. Kind of needed anyways. Alright, I'll head over here. Nothing to say. Nope. Alright, I hope you enjoyed the video, that gave you something to think about and otherwise entertained you. Take care.